Have you ever felt this? That feeling of starting a game and just forgetting the outside world exists. The clock says 20 minutes, then an hour. Next thing you know, the sun is rising. You haven't eaten, you haven't drunk anything, you haven't answered your phone. You just played. These are the games that pull you in, consume you, and leave you obsessed from the very first hour. Today I invite you to remember, or maybe discover, 10 games that hook you in a nearly magical way, right from the start. And get ready, because this isn't just a list. It's an emotional journey through experiences that redefine what it means to be immersed in a digital universe. Lodi 1, The Last of Us. Pain from the very first breath. The game doesn't just start, it destroys you. You're there, controlling Joe's daughter walking through the house as the world begins to fall apart. Explosions outside. The phone rings. The father rushes in. Suddenly you're fleeing. You're still meeting the characters, but you already feel something strange. A weight in your chest. And then that scene, no spoilers needed. If you've played it, you remember. If you haven't, you will remember. Everything that happens there sets the tone for the whole journey. You don't want to stop. You need to see where this goes. Two, inside, the loudest silence I've ever heard. You wake up in the middle of a forest. No HUD, no tutorial, just a boy running, lights sweep through the darkness, and you realize he's being hunted. Everything is minimalist, yet every sound, shadow, and movement screams tension. You climb electric fences, hide in muddy ponds, narrowly escape vicious dogs and ruthless soldiers. The narrative is silent, but the design tells you everything. Something is very wrong here. Each new area pulls you deeper into a distorted world, where bodies fall, machines rebel, and hope seems forbidden. Just when you think you understand what you're playing, the game flips you inside out. You can't put it down. You need to know what's going on, even if what awaits you is even more disturbing. 3. BioShock. Welcome to Rapture. You crash in a plane. In the middle of the ocean, nothing makes sense. Everything's dark. The only thing in sight is a lighthouse. You go in, and then the magic begins. You descend in a bathysphere. Music plays. An entire underwater city appears before your eyes. Luxurious, isolated, mysterious, rapture. It's an invitation to the unknown. A mix of beauty and menace, and all this before you even learn how to play. And when you meet your first splicer, that's when you realize you're not leaving this game anytime soon. 1-4, God of War. The silenced rage Kratos doesn't scream. He's not destroying gods or battling chaos. He is chopping down trees. But it's in that silence that the game gets you. You see the grief, the pain, the responsibility of a father who doesn't know how to be a father. And then the stranger appears. A mysterious tattooed figure provoking him. The fight that follows is one of the most intense in gaming history. Total destruction. Houses fly, trees fall, the earth trembles. But in the middle of it all lies what really matters. Kratos trying to protect his son. And you realize this isn't the same God of War as before. And that gets you hooked. 5. Control. When reality starts to bend, you walk into the Federal Bureau of Control thinking you're solving a normal case. But the doors lock. Red lights flicker, and in the blink of an eye, the walls begin to pulse. Jess Faden holds her service weapon, but suddenly she gains telekinetic powers. You throw papers, flip tables, bend objects at will. The atmosphere grows increasingly bizarre, stretching hallways, rearranging rooms, physics-defying anomalies. Each new room is a small architectural nightmare, and as you uncover secret documents and face possessed agents, it's impossible to let go. The urge to find out what's real and who's in control is addictive. 6. Dead Space. Terror begins with silence. You arrive on an abandoned ship. Everything's dark, too calm. You know something's wrong. You feel it. Then, the scream, the blood, the first creature. Dead Space doesn't give you time to settle in. Within minutes, you're running for your life. No weapons, no way out. Then You find the plasma cutter, and fear turns into power. The first hour is a cycle of panic and survival. You can't breathe, but you also can't stop. 7. Uncharted 2. Among thieves, hanging by a thread. Nathan Drake wakes up, wounded, inside a train, but the train is hanging off a cliff. It's the kind of scene most games would save for the end. Uncharted throws it at you right at the start because it wants you to know this is going to be cinematic. Pure adventure. You climb, slip, jump, whisper, with explosions, epic music, and that classic Drake humor. When you finally survive, you're not hanging anymore. You're hooked. 8. Bloodborne, a city that hates you. You wake up in a clinic, no weapons, no answers. You step into the streets and find horror. Bloodborne doesn't ease you in. It throws you to the wolves. Literally, you die many times. And each death is a lesson. The gothic atmosphere, the haunting soundtrack, the distant screams, it all creates a sense of paranoia that's addictive. You want to understand. You want to survive. You can't put it down. 9. Life is strange. The power to rewind and feel your max, just an ordinary student, until suddenly you discover you can rewind time, and that changes everything. Within the first hour, Life is Strange throws heavy choices at you, real-life dilemmas, and a friendship with Chloe that runs deeper than it seems. It's not action. It's not horror. It's empathy. You don't want to stop because you want to know what happens to them. And more than that, you want to fix everything, even knowing you might not be able to. 10. Metal Gear Solid. 5. The phantom pain, escape from hell. You wake up in a hospital. Everything is on fire. Explosions, soldiers invading, a flaming figure chasing you. You can barely walk, can barely see. You're vulnerable. And that vulnerability is the hook. The intro to Metal Gear Solid 5 is chaotic, confusing, intense. You don't understand everything, but you feel everything. When you finally escape, your body covered in blood, your mind in pieces. You're left with one certainty. This story has barely begun, and it's already left a mark. These were 10 games that grabbed you by the throat right from the first hour. And the craziest thing, even years later, we still remember exactly what it felt like to start each one. Because these games weren't just played, they were lived. And you? What game hooked you right away? Drop it in the comments, and if you want a part 2, you know the deal. Hit the like button, share it, and subscribe. Because here, we live games for real. See you in the next video. And until then, don't just play with your hands. Play with your heart. Let me know if you'd like a version adapted for voiceover with pacing cues.